Hi there, mindful seer people. Today is the 28th of September, and this is the Eclipse series for between the eclipse of the moon and the partial eclipse of the sun. These are readings for the collective using my B.E.I.S.M system. That's a 5-frequency system that supports you in tapping into your own internal awarenesses as well as what is happening with the collective, and hopefully assist you in harmonizing those energies and participating in meaningful ways in the collective, as well as maintaining your own personal wellness, in all areas. And I'll just go ahead and run through that since I'm talking about it. So B is for your physical body, your money, and where you live, your living environment. E is for your emotional life. I for intellect. S for your spirit soul journey. And M for your relationship with your higher power, however you configure that. Mastermind, or if you are atheist or agnostic, however it is that you connect to a sense of all that is, the great mystery, if you will. So yesterday, I'm coming to you from the Tampa Bay area, the west coast of Florida. We did have a visit from a very fierce hurricane, Helen, which has now gone, or Helene, that's gone all the way up now through into the Carolinas and Tennessee, and has created an enormous amount of destruction. So today we are focusing on emotional wellness. And as I explained in prior videos in the series, generally that emotional wellness card speaks to your values and how, are you living kind of your true life, your best life? But today, I suspect, because of all of the tumultuous energy in the collective, our card is going to probably be giving us information that's more of a triage type situation. What can we do just for today? For those of us that did experience this weather event or had it near us, or for those of us that are feeling into the collective and all the stress and anxiety and worry and death, that is out there in the collective energetically today. How can we best negotiate those energies and still maintain some calm for ourselves? This is a time to preserve our energy the best we can so we can be responsive and helpful to the people that are suffering and in distress, rather than adding drama, to the whole energetic valence that's already very dramatic without any kind of embellishment. All right, so yesterday we had the B card was actually a catalyst that changes where they are in the trajectory of their life, moves them to a different timeline. So some people, would maybe make the most of the fact that they're already destabilized and just go ahead and try something new or different, that could be a potential, quality of life, improvement, other than staying where they were, in the situation they were in before the hurricane came through and, changed their circumstances very, very quickly. And as it turns out, I noticed today on my Facebook feed, I saw a piece of property that was intended for a condo project that is a beachfront property that is now for sale for $19 million. So that person, after seeing what could happen down there at the water's edge, opted to not go ahead with that project. And, I personally have always thought, wow, there's so many buildings, on the coastline, multiple story buildings. If a hurricane ever comes, it's not going to be good. Maybe we could think about preserving more of that property that's on the coastline for everyone's enjoyment and not be developing all of it. So let's see what happens, as time goes by and our oceans continue to rise. We might see some different choices about how we use the property on our coastlines. Okay, you can't tell I have any feelings about that. Sorry. I grew up in Florida and I've seen, a lot of change where a lot of property that was once public property or public property adjacent that people could use become private property. And I don't think that's necessarily the best thing for the collective all the time. All right, so now I have my hands. This is the baking bowl of belief. I call it that because everything that we're creating, both personally and in the collective, comes out of our belief systems. And I remember many, many years ago, I did a lot of growth and grew for fun and profit personal development stuff. And I remember many years ago thinking, oh, I really wish I could get underneath my beliefs and understand more about beliefs and how they drive the train, because I knew a lot about, my own personal psychology and other things that either, lead toward our success or, give us satisfaction and happiness in our lives. And I just was interested in that belief piece. And then, a few years ago, I think it started around 2015, I was fortunate enough to bump into the modality of theta healing, which is all about getting into those subconscious beliefs and seeing, where they're really supporting our dreams and where they're not. And so I've worked with that extensively. I have 7 certifications in theta healing, including the one for medical mediumship. I do use that system, the one for medical mediumship, to work backwards into people's beliefs. And I've created my own diagnostic tool using that. So I go deep with the beliefs, and I've really been able to support a lot of people in transforming their situations and circumstances by being able to locate where some of their challenge points, originated, and to rewire those beliefs. Okay, all that being said, hands are going into the baking bowl belief now. And I have 3 different decks in this bowl. One is the Voyager Tarot. Okay, that's this one here. This is based, ecstasy card. Okay, so I always love to see this card, and I'm always interested to see what bonus cards come out. So even though today is a day of really a lot of loss and grief for so many people, I am very happy to be able to be of service and to be finally on my YouTube channel and to speak to you during this eclipse season. This is my passion. I really care about all of you, and I want to see you living your best lives and really maximizing this precious, life opportunity that you're in right now. So we'll take this as a bonus card, not the E card, but I think that was just a little read of where I'm at to be able to be of service to you. All right, so now let's see if we can find the E card. I've got 2 more decks in here. I'll tell you more about those after we pull the E card and I talk about the E. All right, so E for emotions. What is it that we need from ourselves, from the resources of the energetic valences of nature around us? What can we pull up from the ground? What can we bring down from the heavens to really, clear, stabilize, and sedate, any kind of emotional upset, and to give us strength, for going forward through this time of challenge for so many people. Okay, going down into the bowl. Oh, let's see. Okay. Wow. Okay, so we're getting the universe card. This is a Voyager Tarot card. This is another one of the, Voyager decks. This little image here is what the DNA looks like to the naked eye for plants, animals, and humans. It's a beautiful image. And so we see that image repeat here in the front, okay, of this card. This is the only card in this deck where that image repeats. And we see sort of the cosmos out here, perhaps the moon. I think that's the moon. And we have a Buddha down here in the lower right-hand corner. And this card is really, to me, sort of encompasses so much information. What's coming to me is that, everything that is here in this physical reality is, came out of the nothingness of the universe, out of the potentiated energy of creative imagination, effort. Everything that we see here that we have lost recently in this, including, people's lives, sadly, very sadly and tragically, it all is part of an energetic matrix, and everything that it took to create everything that's been destroyed, those energies are still here present in the universe. And this is sort of, to me, thinks about, brings to mind cycles of time, cycles of seasons, the manifestation and the dissolving of all things, the really big cycles, that we live in. And I have this, I think it's a white lotus up in the right-hand corner, and I like to see what's at the top. So at the very top, there's what appears to be perhaps, it looks like maybe an owl or a hawk. I'll have to look that up to be for sure. But it's out there in time space. It's way tiny and way at the top if you can see it. And, the soaring, it might even be an owl. Look how wide the body is. It might be an owl. To me, that is that larger view, gaining our wisdom through the large view of time, space, and perspective to not, how can I say this? We're already suffering. So the more that we sort of lament and stress extra over all of this change and transition that people are experiencing right now, that's just not helping. We need to somehow be able to understand that birth and death is just part of what's going on here, in our experience, as human beings having a spiritual experience, or spiritual beings having a human experience, that, we have gains and losses. There are times when things are all going sunny and great, and other times when it's just one difficulty after the next. If we can step back and see that these are cycles of what it means to be human, and to try, for me, as an empath, and many of the people in my circles, and probably many of you that are watching these videos, we are very sensitive to these larger collective impacts. And it can be difficult for us to maintain our own personal focus and intentionality when there's a lot of energy moving. Both, we've got this eclipse season, now we have this big hurricane, now we have all these people that have needs. And, as empaths, we key into that. So, just like all of these people that have experienced losses are going to have to recreate energy, we also need to bring energy back into ourselves to be able to respond in meaningful ways. I have not been out there in the street clearing debris. I have been sharing information, making sure anything that comes through on my Facebook feed is that's relevant to the response effort in this area. I'm getting that to the correct places. I did offer, a hot shower to someone in my feed who said they had no electricity. I'm like, if this goes on, come over and get a shower. So, if we can somehow maintain our own centeredness through accessing the potentiality of all of the energetic resources that are around us, in our plants, through connection with our animals, there's so much potential, active, creative potential available at all times. If we can calm ourselves enough to be able to access those energetic frequencies rather than getting really stressed over all of the really sad things that have happened to many people in the last little chunk of time. For those of you that are not in this weather system, you are still experiencing a lot of things that are very deep and transformative because of this eclipse cycle season. And so this E card points to, renewal. Okay, to be able to access all of the wonder of the universe. This is, a place of potentiality. I would invite people to contemplate what they would like to create in, what would you like to create in your life? What would you like to have more of? I was feeling kind of down about 10 days ago, and I said, what can I do differently? And I thought, I am going to make a list of everything that is available to me in my immediate surroundings right now that I enjoy, that I don't access as often as I'd like to. That's one thing I could do right now. Okay, so a couple days ago, I did a dance party in my kitchen. That makes me happy. I'm singing, I'm dancing. My daughter's like, what are you doing, Mom? And I'm like, I'm having fun. Okay, so I got some exercise, and, we now know, research shows us that listening to music is really healthy for us. It really helps us heal. And, it was a small thing I could do to brighten up my own day and bring some creative flow, okay, into my space and into my being. So I think this is going to be a time where we're all going to need to continue to dig deep. We've got, let's see, today's day 2. We have 3 more days Tomorrow I'll be doing I for intellect, then S for soul, M for mastermind, and that will complete the 3 cycles of this eclipse series. So I do want to let you know that I will be out in public on October 3rd in Oldsmar, Florida, doing mini sessions where you can get a B.E.I.S.M, a personal B.E.I.S.M reading, as well as theta healing. I can do one or the other or both together. Phantom History House is a really fun B&B with sort of a creepy yet comfortable and an eerie yet elegant theme. I will be making myself available, some in public during the month of October and early November, but most of the time I'm virtual and, working through the Zoom interface. If you have any questions about any of the services that I'm offering, I'm happy to have a conversation with you. My phone is 727-678-3761. Just please feel free to reach out. And as normal, I often like to just see if Spirit has anything that it would like to add to the conversation that I haven't thought of or said. Pull one more card out of the baking bowl. Oh, wow. Okay. So this is from the Sustain Yourself deck, and this entire deck is basically related to the Green Man wisdom studies. And so we have that energy here appearing, renewal. That's where the focus has to be now for all of the people that have lost things, and for the people that are going through deep cycles of purging emotionally, who are not anywhere near this hurricane, but are still feeling the intense energies of the eclipse purge. Now is a time to start, as most of the probably emotional turmoil has come up and come to the surface, to start leaning into imagining, or even just doing some things that feel somatically renewing. This would be a good time to, have, a juice fast, or spend some time in nature. Do things that are connecting you to new energy and will help you restore from the stress and turmoil that many people have experienced. I'm sure that most people in the United States know someone that was affected by this crazy weather system that, is still having, very significant effects. Okay, everybody, so peace and happy, and I will see you tomorrow, and we will be talking about intellectual life. That's the I card in B.E.I.S.M, and how we handle the intellect a little bit differently, when we look at it from the perspective of seeing the intellect as a sense rather than headquarters. Okay, peace and happy, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow.